Aside from the decades-old dispute over islands in the Pacific Ocean and the signing of more economic deals, the Russian president and Japanese prime minister focused on North Korea.
We call on all the countries involved in regional issues to refrain from military rhetoric and strive for calm and constructive dialogue. We see as a common task the early resumption of six-party talks.
President Putin and I agreed that Japan and Russia will continue to closely cooperate and appeal to North Korea to fully comply with the UN Security Council resolutions and avoid further provocative actions.
Public agreement, but there are differences in the detail.
I think Abe is trying to bring the message that Russia should be cooperative with the US, that Russia should be open to the idea of new sanctions, and that Russia should be constructive and use its influence over North Korea. I think that's a fairly unrealistic assessment because Russia doesn't really have a lot of influence, but it tries to portray itself as a very influential.
Regardless, it's providing a source of amusement for Russian state television. This is the weatherman showing off the doomsday clock, saying the threat of Armageddon was only closer in 1958. Not even the Cuban Missile Crisis was as bad as it is now. He says these are allegedly bunkers in Pyongyang, and these are, again allegedly, President Trump's personal bunkers in the White House and 2 under golf courses in Florida. Tongue-in-cheek for sure, but the concerns on the North Korean peninsula are real.
The Kremlin maintains that the North Korean issue should be resolved through dialogue, using diplomacy rather than military might to ease tensions. But critics say Russia is not doing enough, that despite public condemnation of North Korea's actions, it needs to do more to put pressure on Pyongyang.
Russia has a 17-kilometer land border with North Korea. North Korean laborers work in Russia's Far East, sending home money from which the North Korean government takes a cut. A ferry service between the two countries is set to start early next month, supposedly bringing workers, Chinese tourists and some goods. And the timing with the increased tension, certainly not ideal. Russia's argument, keeping good relations, can go a long way to de-escalate tensions. This video apparently shows Russian military reinforcements sent to the border with North Korea earlier this month, and the Kremlin declined to comment. The rise in rhetoric has all the countries involved, and there are many, concerned. But one thing is clear, they all say they don't want the situation to escalate. Stefanie, Dekker, Al Jazeera, Moscow.